So, welcome everybody. Happy Monday. We are streaming you live here from Orlando, Florida, at Florida Realtors. So we are up here, both Joanna and I, and we do have Real Reports on today. So before we get started, got a couple of exciting announcements to kind of talk through quickly. For those of you that are brokers, we are having our Broker Summit. That is going to be on September 11th at the Elegant Studios Event Center from noon till 5. We got some amazing speakers. Diana Zaya will be there from Maverick Systems. Jeff Levine. We got John Shannon from FGCU. He's a research and economist there. Jeff Levine from Florida Realtors, and Josh Cadillac will be our keynote speaker. Josh is also doing a class earlier on September 11th at the same location, which is Elegant Studios Event Center. That is Men Are From Mars and Women Are From Venus. Then where are my clients from? That is open to anybody. And both of these events on the 11th are no cost to our members. So if you have not signed up yet for that class, it does come with 2 CE hours. I would definitely highly recommend it. Not that it has a whole lot to do with MLS, but we do have coming up our Realtor Trade Show. The MLS will have a booth there on October 9th at Suncoast Arena. So if you have not signed up for that, there's more information on the website that you'll be able to look at there. And then we have a really cool event that we put together on, I believe it's November 5th. Joanna, keep me honest with dates.
Yep.
November 5th. And it's MLS Experience. So the idea is we're going to have on 12 of our vendor partners to go through some excellent upgrades and things that have changed with their technology and their systems and their software they're providing. So there'll be different rooms to go into. It'll be the first time we'll do something like this, but it's a completely virtual event scheduled for 2.5 hours, where you'll be able to go in and learn right from the vendors themselves. And the vendors are super excited when we put this together. Real Reports will be there as well. So we've got that coming up. So just a couple of things there, housekeeping issues. And with that, we do have Real Reports on today. So I met with you guys probably back in September of last year for the
Seattle.
demo. Yep, with Zach and Brian, and we met in Seattle at CMLS. And I can tell you that, we talk a lot about artificial intelligence. It's kind of the buzzword. My understanding is, although I didn't go to IM and Connect this year, it was kind of the word of the day. 97% of the stuff was about AI. But what was interesting is this software was invented by practitioners, right? Brokers that felt a gap in the prop tech arena of having to go to different locations, different sites to pull information into what really should be what they created, one site. And it's powered by AI. And what was impressive, two things. One is from the time we demoed it in September to the time we actually went through and put it in front of our MLS committee, they had already made so many improvements that it was unbelievable how fast they were moving and bringing new stuff in. So that was very impressive from that perspective, because obviously, at least in my world, in the MLS world that I live in, we don't move real quick. So it took a while to get you guys to demo. It's only a couple months, but they've made, massive changes, improvements. So we brought them on board. We launched March 26th, and I can tell you, we do a lot of launches. We did 11 this year. It's been exhausting, but one of the best companies that I've ever launched with was Real Reports. And just everything with them is super organized, super impressive. And then we do, I think it's every other month, we meet with Zach and kind of do a update of what's going on, how's the system performing, what's the usage, and those are always real informative and very organized. So they do things right, not just from the product they deliver right to us, but also the way they run their business, which is super impressive in the prop tech world. So happy to have them with us. We are the only association here in Southwest Florida that currently have them. We were one of the early adopters with them, but they're blowing up. Every week I see new relationships that they're building out there. So, which is great. And I know that they're adding some things on there. We talked about the tax stuff with Zach last week, Tuesday, which is very impressive as well. So they're growing. They're still growing to today. So with that, I will turn it over to Brian with Real Reports.
Awesome. Thank you, Jason and Joanna, for having me. Guys, I appreciate your time. I know you're busy. It's Monday, so thank you so much. I'm going to hop right into it. You may have seen some of this, but to Jason's point, we're always adding new things. I will do a full demo on here, and you'll see some of the data that we have added. I'm going to share my screen real quick. You should be able to see this. I'm going to share this screen. All righty, you guys can see my screen. I think you can see my screen here.
Yep, look good.
I'm gonna slideshow this. There we go. Awesome. So as Jason mentioned, I'm Brian Preston from a company called Real Reports. The easiest way to think about Real Reports is the AI supercharged Carfax for homes, and that's going to make a lot more sense in a minute. As Jason also mentioned, I always start by talking about the team, primarily because we are from the industry. We are real estate agents. We are real estate brokers. We are not people from outside the industry who have created a problem and are offering you our magical solution. I myself have been licensed since 2005. I sold full time for over 15 years. James and Zach previously co-founded a tech-enabled brokerage, and Lauren from our team is licensed as well. And that also just say we are agents solving problems we've experienced firsthand. We're also backed by some top-tier prop tech investors. Modern Ventures is probably the one you have probably heard of there. But as you all know, our industry is changing, right? It's an increasingly competitive market. There's new rules around compensation, and it's getting harder and harder for agents to differentiate themselves. So for us, that solution is Real Reports. What Real Reports is comprehensive property information from over 60 trusted data providers. It's actually probably closer to 70 at this point. We're always adding more. When I joined the team about 18 or 19 months ago, we had 20 sources, and we're pushing 70 today. And while a lot of this information is information you'll find in the MLS, we have tax records, information, things like that. A lot of it is also stuff that you will not find in the MLS. It's available for every home in the United States, so everyone has access to search any home in the U.S. It's not gated to your community or your state. So if you've got a cousin in Washington, in Seattle, or an aunt in Maine, you can look up their properties as well. And as Jason mentioned, AI is very buzzy, and we're probably just as sick of hearing about it as you are. But we do think this is a great way for agents to start introducing what we're calling practical AI into their workflows. And that'll make more sense when I show you the product. It's available exclusively for real estate agents. So you'll be sharing these reports with your clients and other consumers. But they will not be able to get these on their own. They need to go through a real estate professional in order to access this information. As I mentioned, we are real estate professionals. We want to keep agents at the center of the transaction, and we think this is one way to help with that. Now, there's a lot of information in a real report. What you're seeing here is a partial list of some of the data that we have. You're also seeing a partial list of some of our providers. We're always adding new information. If there's ever any information that you think would be helpful in your area, please do not hesitate to reach out. We are actually adding right now something called ACUS zones to the map, which have to do with noise zones around military areas. And that was a request of a partner that we're talking to right now. So they asked for that last week. We're working on it. Hopefully it will be in the tool this week. But that's just to tell you, we do move quickly. If there's something you find useful, we're sure other people will find it useful. So we want to be able to get that in the tool as fast as possible. But that data is only valuable if you know what to do with it. Which is why we've introduced Aiden, our AI co-pilot. Aiden is able to analyze thousands of data points quickly and easily. The easiest way to think about it is if the report is the brain, Aiden is the mouthpiece for the brain. So if it's in the report, Aiden can answer questions about it. Now, if you paid any attention to AI over the last year or 2 years, you may hear something called hallucinations that AI may do. Aiden does not hallucinate. Aiden is trained to strictly look inside the report. If it doesn't know the answer, it will just tell you it doesn't know the answer or it couldn't find the answer. Aiden's also able to summarize complex documents, HOA, condo docs, seller's disclosures, home inspections. Those are large documents that sometimes take a long time to read. Now you can upload those documents. Aiden will summarize those documents, pull out the highlights, and then those documents will become part of the report so that you can just start asking Aiden questions about those documents. Aiden's also been fair housing trained. So if someone were to ask a question that would violate that, it would literally just tell them that they're violating fair housing. We also know you guys spend a lot of time in the car, so typing isn't always the easiest thing. So we do have a voice chat feature. Hold the microphone down and talk into it, and Aiden will be able to answer those questions. Aiden is also multilingual, so if you speak to it in Spanish or any other number of languages, it will respond in that language, which is great if you're working with multilingual clients. And we always say this: we don't think AI is going to replace agents, but we do think the agents who learn to use AI are going to start outcompeting the ones who are not. Now, there's a lot of use cases. I'll run through a couple of them here and show you a couple more afterwards. But providing value to buyers, right? Now, more than ever, agents need to show their value to buyers. What better way than to provide them with the most comprehensive property reports in the business? You can say, look, the way this typically works is we've got 3 tiers: snapshot, buyer, and seller. You're going to go show a couple of houses. You may pull a couple snapshot reports, but then when it's time to write the offer, agents are upgrading to the buyer and seller tier of the reports to give their buyers the most amount of information they can have about the property before they go into that. They're also uploading things like, seller's disclosures. Yeah, seller's disclosures, things like that, so that they become part of the report as well. We also love this on a listing appointment. You'll see here, this is an agent named Jimmy Moscoso. He's an agent down in South Florida with Kai's company. He went on a competitive listing appointment against a dozen other agents, $6 million listing, and walked out with the deal. They loved that he was tech forward. They loved that he was using the most up-to-date tools. They also loved that he knew a lot about their property before he even got there. So great way to stand out from your competition on a listing appointment. We also love this as a lead generation tool. What you're seeing here is our open house flyer. So a lot of agents are still using paper sign-in sheets at the house. But what if maybe in addition to that, you had this sign here that just said, take Aiden on a tour of the home with you. Consumers come in, they scan that QR code, we'll capture their name, their email address, and then when they're walking through the house, they can just ask questions to Aiden. Can I put an ADU in the backyard? Where's the closest grocery store? The best part about it is not only we're getting their name and their email address, but we're capturing the questions that they asked and the answer that the AI gave. So that after the open house, you can do more pointed follow-up. Hey, Bob, you want to know about the schools? Here's more information about the schools. Hey, Sally, you want to know about permits? Here's more information about permits. So great way to do really pointed follow-up after an open house. Again, we love it from a risk mitigation standpoint. We've all heard stories of brokers and agents being involved in lawsuits. Maybe they missed a special assessment in the condo docs. Now you can upload those documents. We'll summarize them. We'll pull out the highlights. Yes, you should read all the documents, but this way we'll pull them out. We'll get the highlights, and then they become part of the report. So you can just ask. The consumer asks, hey, is there a special assessment? We'll tell them, oh yeah, there's a $30,000 special assessment in 2026. And the best part about it is there's also an audit trail. So if they come back to you a year from now and say, oh, you never told me about that, you can say, well, actually back on August 25th, you asked about special assessments and Aiden told you there was a $30,000 special assessment coming up next year. So great way to protect yourself in that regard. And obviously from a streamlining research standpoint, we hit over 100 different APIs every time you pull a report. You can find a lot of this information out there. It's going to take you a while to gather it. You're going to have to pay for a lot of it separately. Then you're going to have to put it together and make it look good. Luckily for you, we've already done all of that work for you. So with us, type in an address, select the tier of the report, count to 10, and that'll be ready for you. So really can save you a ton of time analyzing documents and researching properties. But again, you can use this whether it's with buyers or sellers, all the way from prospecting, all the way up to post-sale follow-up. So I'm going to hop into a demo now. Does anybody have any questions before I hop into the demo? I guess if you raise your hand or type it in the chat, I'll be able to see that. I'll pull the chat up over here. So I'll just keep an eye on it.
They've got the Q&A available, but there's nothing in there at the moment for you. I'm keeping an eye on that for you.
Perfect. Yeah, if you guys have questions, don't hesitate. I'm always happy to reach out. So you guys can see this, right? So what you're seeing here is a real report. When you guys log into your real reports, it'll be branded with the Florida Gulf Coast RPC logo up here. It'll have a color scheme in there, so it'll look familiar and feel like something that comes from your association. On the left-hand side, you'll see all of the information you can find in a real report. If you ever want to navigate quickly, you can just scroll down and choose any section. It'll quickly take you down there. Up here, you'll see the address. I pulled a property in Fort Myers this morning. You'll see this is a seller report. This is our most comprehensive report. I pulled it again today. It's easy to share. If I want to share it, I just click the share button. You can copy and paste this link and include it in any online marketing that you're doing. You can email it right out of the platform. The QR code I showed you in the open house flyer, you can download that too and include that in any other printed marketing materials you wanted to. Some newer features that we added this month, you can now text message. So you can text message the copies of this report right from your phone. You can also share it on social media. So Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter are all there. You'll notice here there's a lead capture button. If I turn this button on, after about 2 or 3 seconds, anyone who looks at the report will be required to give me a name and an email address in order to continue that. So if you want to use this for lead gen, turn on lead capture. Great way to generate some leads. If you're working with a client, you don't need to know all that. You can always turn that off, and then they won't have to register every single time. You can also print this report. There's a nice stylized 2 or 3 page summary that you can slip into your existing printing materials there. If you really want to, you can print the entire thing. It's about 80 pages at this point. So I always say, make sure you're in the office or your home printer is fully charged up with ink because it may not make it through if it's not. We also know that every agent is different and every customer is different. So these reports are fully customizable. So we've got a default view that we have, but you guys can change that at any time. All you have to do is drag and drop different sections. A newer feature we've added since we launched with you guys is now every agent can set their own default settings for their view. So you can sort this in your settings and just say, this is how I want them to look every single time, and it will do that for you. You can also hide any section of the report. So maybe you're working with an end user who's not going to rent. So maybe you're going to hide short or long-term rental. You know, we've also got crime data in there that not everybody wants to share. All you have to do, click on the eyeball. It will hide that from the report. No one will even know it was there, but it just won't be included in the report. Up here, you'll see the branding block. So you can brand these. This will appear in every report that you run. It'll have your photo, your brokerage logo, your email address, your phone number, all your social media links. If you've got a place where you keep all of your listings or your reviews, you can put that there as well. You'll also see photos down here. For all active listings, we'll pull in all of the listing photos so that they're all in one space. So now you'll see this has 49 photos uploaded to it. Great way to get everything you would ever want to share with a buyer all in one place. Up here on the right, you've got Aiden. Right before I hopped on, I asked Aiden a couple of questions. So I said, Aiden, what's the rental potential? So Aiden went through, it pulled out long-term rental potential, including rents and ranges and cap rates, gives a little commentary, short-term rental, average daily rates, monthly revenue, annual revenues, occupancy rates. It gives a little commentary and some recommendations, typically saying, you know, you should connect with a real estate professional. I also asked it something like simple, like where's the closest grocery store? And told me there's a Publix less than a mile away from the house. But if I want to, I can also find Aldi, a Walmart, and a Whole Foods within 4 miles of the property. So great for people who might not be that familiar with the area, who are coming from the area, they don't know where anything is. Easy way to find out where all the amenities are. I'm going to shrink Aiden because I am a big map nerd, and we have a ton of map layers that you guys can access in the report here. So I'm going to scroll down here. As I mentioned before, you can also upload documents in here. So right before, I don't have any documents for this property, but I uploaded a home inspection that I have a copy of. It's about 60 pages here, but you'll see it summarized the home inspection, general condition, necessary repairs, pulled out, you know, different areas of the house, priority levels, safety hazards, major system analysis, gave some recommendations, some maintenance tips, and then it always ends with a disclaimer. Just so you guys know, there's 5 separate disclaimers that you and consumers will click before you use this report, before you log in, before you can use the AI, before you can upload documents. So we are protecting you in that regard as well. Now, getting into the data, the first piece is valuations. We are not a valuation company, but we work with a lot of companies that do provide valuations. So depending on the tier of the report, you'll see anywhere from 3 to 7 AVMs in here. But as we know, the robots don't always know what is right. If you look here, you can see we've got 2 down here at 430, but we've got another one up here at 575. Quite a spread. But again, that's why they're hiring you. You're a real estate professional. They want your expert opinion. So what we've also recently added is the ability for agents to provide their own valuation. So you may come in here and you may say, I think this is going to be worth between 485 and 510. You'll hit save. And then the first thing someone will see is it'll say Brian's estimated valuation. So again, you're the expert. We want to put your opinion at the top. That'll be the first thing they see. It's also a great way to handle, any objections about, oh, this is too low or this is too high. Yeah, that's what the robots, they don't know. That's why they hire a professional. They're going to talk about Zillow. They're going to talk about Redfin. You might as well go right at it and just say, yeah, nobody really agrees. That's why you're hiring me, a real estate professional. When available, we'll pull permits in. So you can see these guys got a new roof back in 2021. It's got the company that did it. You'll also see they did some windows and shutters back in 2018. Again, great way to find out some work that's done on the property, especially if maybe you see a newer kitchen, newer bathroom, you wonder if they pulled the permits. You can go right into that permit section and see what the permits are. We've also got full zoning documentation. So you'll see here, the map is now automatically adjusting itself. As I scroll through the report, every different section, the map will change, and it'll do that. You can always turn layers on and off, but it will turn some layers on for you. So if I look over here and I click here, you'll see there's an agricultural division down below us, but up here, we're in a planned development. Over here, you'll see we're in another residential area over here, but you'll see we've got the zoning type, the zoning code. If you really want to, you can click here. It'll link out to the full zoning documentation for this house for Lee County here. You'll see we've got permitted uses, conditional uses, prohibited uses. So great information about zoning in the property. We've got tons of long-term and short-term rental data. So you'll see we've got all the comps plotted on the map here. We've got fair market rents for Fort Myers from HUD, a layer over there as well. You can turn those on and off. There's the comps right there. You'll see we've got short-term rentals. So monthly revenue, nightly rates, how many nights a month you can expect to rent it, standard cap rates, all that, those kinds of things. We've also, for short term, we actually link out through AirDNA to Airbnb and VRBO. If you click on these links, it will actually take you out to the Airbnb or VRBO link for this property, so you can actually see how much of a comp it actually is to your house. We've got tons of mortgage information. So we've got owner's mortgage amount, owner's rate. We've got their start date, their combined loan to value, estimated equity, loan and transaction history, tax information. So we've got current tax rolls, but we've also got tax history on this property. It goes back to 2000. So we've got 25 years of tax history. We have homeowners information, homeowners association information available when it's available. So you'll see this one has a $2,000 annual fee, the name of the association. You can get the phone number and the address of the association here as well. We do not have access to rules and regs unless someone has uploaded them. So you may get this information, but you will not automatically receive access to rules and regs. You'll notice over here the map has now changed to a parcel boundary map. So if you zoom in, you'll be able to see the specific dimensions of the property. You'll also be able to click on the house next door, get a little bit of information about that house. If you want more information, you can always just click the Get the Real Report button here and see what's going on. But it gives you an idea of what the layout is in the area, what's going on over there. We've got the current owner's name, how long they've owned the property, tons of neighborhood characteristics. So, again, where's the closest supermarket? Where's the closest restaurant or shopping? Transportation and recreation. You'll see them all plotted on the map there. You'll also see we've got a couple of different layers you can turn on here. Maybe you want to know if there's anything on the National Register of Historic Places. You'll see these purple dots here. Or maybe you want to know what the congressional district boundaries are. You can turn that on there. You guys don't have too many federal lands in Florida, so there won't be much there. That's more prevalent out west. But again, you can see there's a lot of different layers you can turn on and off to provide more information. You can turn them off. The consumers can turn them on and off as well. So we've got school district information. We've got school ratings from great schools for both nearby public and private schools. As I mentioned, we do have some information you would consider tax record information. So, beds, baths, year built, all that kind of stuff. Lot information, how big is the lot, what kind of lot, the sewer, water types, location information, detailed latitude, longitude, legal descriptions, everything you'd expect to find in a tax record. We've also got tons of utility information. So a couple of things going on here. This is a new layer on the map right here. So this is something we recently added. This is a cell phone coverage map. So now we're plotting all the cell phone towers, who owns them, what kind of signal they put out, and how far that goes. So you can see here that, and I'll scroll down in a second and show you that, but I'm going to turn that off just so you can see. We've got utility pricing. So how much does electricity cost? Who is the provider? approximately how much would it cost you a year or a month in electricity here. We'll pull in propane or natural gas prices when available. Solar estimates. So if you were to put in solar, how much would it cost and save you over 1 and 20 years? HVAC, if you were to do mini splits, how much would that save you? Tons of information about government incentive programs in the area, internet speeds in the area. So who's got the highest speed? Who else is available? Again, for the coverage, you'll also see on the cell phone map here, AT&T seems to have the best coverage in the area, but T-Mobile is not too far off from that as well. You'll also notice, I'm going to go back up real quick. I just want to show you a couple more layers on the map here. Let me turn this off. You know, a lot of people have electric cars. So if you ever want to know where's the closest, where are we going, guys? Sorry. If you ever want to know where's the closest, maybe EV charging station, you'll see there's a layer there. All those green dots are either natural gas or EV charging stations. Alrighty. So we've also got a ton of environmental data in here as well. So you'll notice now the map has changed to a flood map. So this property is not a flood map, but you'll see there's a flood zone up here. What would flood insurance cost now after risk rating 2.0? Again, this is not in a flood zone, but you'll see that over there. So tons of information about weather, what's the average daily temperature, precipitation at the property, resiliency to natural disasters. You'll see here lightning and hurricanes are obviously the highest risk in this area. We've also got historical disasters. So looks like Hurricane Milton came through last, I guess that's October, but that's in there as well. So you'll have information on that. Lots of information about remodel estimates. So if you were going to do any work on the property, approximately how much would it cost and how much would it add to the house? We've got a lot of hazard data. So we've got county level radon data, but we've also got nearby hazardous facilities, news and media. So if the house has ever been in the news and media, it'll be there as well. Lots of census data, both by tract and by county. So, you know, here's by income. You could do it by education. You could do it by commuting time. So tons of information in there. We've also got crime data, including trends and sex offender registry data. We'll plot them on the map as well. And then finally, the last section is market trends. So over the last 30 days and over the last 6 months, what is the market doing in the area? That is all the data in a real report. If you guys have any questions about any of that data, I'm happy to take questions.
Brian, yeah, so we've got one question in here. They're asking, how is the utility data cost? Like, how is that sourced and calculated?
Sure. So that's actually a very interesting question. So let me get down here. So the kilowatt price per hour we get directly from the provider. So Lee County Electric is the provider here. How they calculate total electricity usage is super interesting, actually. So it's based on, and this is the way I understand it. Let's take, we say 78 degrees is the average temperature. So if the temperature is on that day is above that, they count that as a cooling day. If it is below that, they count that as a heating day, right? So how many heating days, how many cooling days, that combined with the square footage of the house is how they calculate approximately how many kilowatt hours you're going to use. But the rate is directly from Lee County. You can click on this link here and it will take you out to more information about the rate sheet for that as well. Same with propane and natural gas. These are averaged for the area, but we also compare them against the national average as well. Any other questions?
I think that's the only question that we've got right now.
Okay. Well, if you guys have any more, again, I'm here. I'm always happy if you're thinking while I'm going through. I'll show you a couple more slides, and then I will let you get back to your day. So as I mentioned earlier, there's 3 tiers of the report: snapshot, buyer, and seller. Easiest way to think about them is good, better, best. If it's in the snapshot, it's in the buyer. If it's in the buyer, in the seller. As I mentioned, snapshots are great for farming, maybe reaching out to past clients. You send them a snapshot. If they're engaged and they want to learn more, maybe then you upgrade the report to a buyer or a seller tier of the report. Great for showings, things like that. Through Royal Palm Coast Association of Realtors, you do have a number of benefits. One is you get a free Real Reports subscription. If you were going to buy that on your own, that will cost you $10 a month or $120 a year. What that gets you is access to unlimited snapshot reports. So you guys can log into Real Reports and run any property in the US, run as many of them as you want. We want you to run as many as you can. So please go in there, give them a try. but you guys have access to unlimited snapshot reports. You also get a 33% discount on buyer and seller tiers. So buyer reports are $10, seller reports are $20. They're all branded to the association, and they also have unlocked premium features like the AI document and photo analysis. What we've also done is automated this. So every time you get a new listing, you're going to get an email that's going to say, congrats on your new listing. As a Royal Palm Coast Realtor Association member benefit, you have now received your snapshot report. So check your email if you've done a listing in the last, I don't know, this year, basically. Check your email. You should be getting those emails. And we're revamping these. The style will look a little bit different. But again, you can pull these. You can use these for marketing. Great way to just, have something new that you can share with people. We're easy to access. So if you go in the Clarity dashboard, you should see a Real Reports button. It looks just like that. Click on it. It'll log you into the system. It's super easy to use. Type an address, select the tier of the report, and you're ready to go. It's that easy. You'll also notice that in Matrix, on every listing detail page, you'll see this little double R button over here. If you click on that link, that will take you through to a real report for that property branded to you, a snapshot report. So you can do that from any listing that's in Matrix. You can do that. It's quick and easy. Great way to get a little bit more information. From us, again, you guys can always expect fast and responsive support. We build new features all the time. So if there is something you'd like to see in the reports, please let us know. We do regular webinars and trainings like this. We've also got an education hub where we store all of these videos. It's got FAQs and use cases, walkthrough videos, everything from a 20-minute full walkthrough to a 30-second how do I do this. You'll also see on there that we have a monthly webinar that we do for all of our partners. We do one every month. Sometimes it's about the tools, sometimes it's about AI. I think the next one is in September, and it's about all the improvements we made to the product this summer, which kind of is a lot. We've also you guys have been on for a while, so there's a couple users here who are, we call them our power users, but Jerry, Chip, and Dana are the top 3 users inside. So if you guys are on the call, thank you. If not, you guys can probably reach out to them. They'll tell you they're clearly using it a lot. And we're proud of the success that they've had using this. If you guys ever have questions, we're easy to reach out to. It's just usually our first name at realreports.ai. So that's all I have for you guys today. Like I said, I'm happy to stay on and take questions if you have any more, but I do appreciate your time. Joanna and Jason, I appreciate you guys giving the opportunity to hop on and speak with everybody. I know you're you're in Orlando, you're at Florida Realtors, so I know there's a lot going on right now. So again, thank you so much for having me. So I'll hang out if you guys have any questions.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think a few questions had come in, but you answered those. It was, how do they access Real Reports? We've got a tile for them right on the front dashboard so that they can access it and right inside of Matrix. And then they were asking about further training from Real Reports, which, everybody's favorite thing is the webinars you guys do every month. And then you've got them recorded on your YouTube channel. But for our users, the Florida Gulf Coast MLS YouTube channel, we also added in all of your videos that you have. So that's a playlist on our YouTube channel that you can find more recordings that Real Reports does every single month. And then we have another question. It says, I know we can download the report, but is there a way to send a link to our clients so that they can find the info that they would like to see?
Sure. Yep. It's super easy. So I'm going to load this report. Pulling it back up. So when you click the share button here, you'll see it's in the main address bar. Just click this share button. If you click this, it will copy it. So control, if you're in an email, just control V, that will paste it right into the email. You can actually, if you click this send button, it'll open your email client and send it out of there as well. Or you can also always just copy the link up top here in the URL, and that will get you to the same exact place. You can always just copy and paste this and share that along. And one thing I did want to show everybody is this is your dashboard. On the left-hand side, you'll see Education Hub here. If you ever have questions or trainings or questions about anything, you can do that. If you need to reach us, you can always just click that support button there. If you want to know what are your benefits, you can just say, oh, here are my benefits. Yours will be different than mine because I have my own custom org here. But if you ever have any questions, pretty much all your answers are over here on the left-hand side.
Perfect. Well, I think that is all of the questions that we have for today. And again, you guys are really great to get a hold of and help. If you guys need anything, you can reach out to Brian, Zach, and their team, or you can always call us at the MLS department. We can walk you through stuff as well. And we're here for you.
Awesome.
Yep. Thank you, Brian, so much. And yeah, I mean, this has got
Thank
so
you.
much, such great, stuff that you could bring into a listing. You can bring into, working with your buyer, just so much information there. And that's really the power of data, I think, and the data driven, AI driven realtor, as you were talking about, like, earlier when you started about, I don't think that agents will be replaced by AI by any stretch of imagination, but I do believe those that embrace and leverage it are able to work more efficiently and provide better information for their buyers and sellers. And this is a great example of that. That's why when we saw this in September, we jumped on it. You guys continue to add value, and we appreciate you guys partnering with us and working with us and always participating in things like this. So it means a lot. So
Thank you for having us. You guys have been great partners since the moment I met. When we met you guys have always been great. We do really appreciate your support. And we're always here to help. And don't worry, we'll keep adding more and more to these reports. A couple of things we're working on right now. So you'll hear about them sometime in September.
All right. Sounds fantastic. Thank you, Brian.
Awesome.
Thanks, everybody. Give you
Thanks, guys.
20 minutes back. Have a great Monday.
Appreciate it. Thanks, guys. Have fun.
Right.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.